And it was written, I have MS. You might see me fidgeting, and I sometimes lose my breath when I'm reading. I was diagnosed about 4 years ago, kind of when Trump was elected. It's not his fault, I guess. But anyway, so this is called, so I got MS. I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and we had a pandemic all at the same time, which is a heck of a thing. Anyway, so this is called, This is the Darkest Timeline. One that started with a roll of the dice, an election gone awry, a time of fire and flood. We started to panic at every pandemic, went into quarantine playing quarters. We've all become the evil versions of ourselves, just trying to get back to the prime timeline, the one where everything went right. When our memories weren't clouded by calamity. That butterfly that flapped its wings, the animal virus gone rogue. We couldn't buy butter or bullets. We waited with bated breath underground. When we emerge anew, it will be with new eyes, our currency change from cash to cashews and cheese sandwiches. You won't remember the taste of food without 10. You can't remember how to kiss. Your sense of time scrambled. You learned to throw a knife and gut fish. The darkest timeline has taken us the way of apocalypse, earthquake, supervolcanoes, and tidal waves. We can't take any more disaster. We hurried too many bodies and sheltered in place too long to forget. When we started this journey, it was nothing left to lose. Now we're too tired to remember how fresh fruit used to smell. The pale pink of cherry blossoms, the day before the coyotes took over the streets. And the next poem is called Irradiate. I grew up in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which is kind of like Hanford, Washington. It's a place where they built nuclear bombs. My father worked in nuclear safety with robots. This is called Irradiate. As a child, I was radiant. The land grew irradiated corn and roses, tomatoes large and abundant, swallows and catfish carrying the isotopes towards the water and woods. The sun rose each day, while the shadows of trees concealed government buildings and laboratories where my father's work. I grew up listening to the tap-click of the Geiger counter. I grew up listening to clicks on the phone line. I was still innocent, irradiated, to blast with radiation, to sterilize food, medical equipment, a person. I was waiting for a message from the sky. I knew what it meant to illuminate, the fall of light in a painting or through an old window that irradiated a field of flowers of the face of someone you loved, to bring the full beauty of something to the surface. I was irradiated by the gentle glow of the computer screen, by the microwave, by the sun growing brighter each spring, dimmer each fall. I meant I was full of radiation. I meant I was full of light. I meant I could give birth to nothing but light. And the next one is called Calamity. And I wrote this before the pandemic, and Poetry Magazine took it 2 months before the pandemic started. Calamity. Your family is coming over for Thanksgiving. Even worse, it's snowing. Headless robots are playing soccer with your soul. UFOs have been sighted overhead. A meteor is heading straight for you. It might miss, but then again. Tonight, a city is being decimated by Godzilla. Or was it genetically engineered dinosaurs? Either way, I hope you're lizard friendly. Tonight, you have to give a speech, and that girl that hated you in 3rd grade is in the audience. What have I ever done to deserve this? Says the prophet, tearing his robes in the desert. And God says, how long you got? A plague of egrets, of egress. A black hole has just opened up, and it is already swallowing someone else's sun. Did you see the team play today? A travesty. Someone is always preaching about doomsday. Who are you wearing? Because tonight your life will be required of you. Grab a bag, a sword, a water bottle. Go out swinging. And here's the last poem in the book, which is a little sad. But not that sad because I'm not dead. When I thought I was dying. When I thought I was dying, it was easy to love things. Birds, the the flutter of branches, my husband who always has to be right. I thought, I will lose all of this. I hugged my cats more. I watched less television, except for comedies, which drug me to sleep at night. Stupid 1950s sci-fi films, especially. Maybe I loved them too. I loved poetry and wrote every day, thinking I do not have time to write. The lights would flicker and threaten outage. How like our bodies these power lines are, reliable until they are eaten by rats or rammed by cars at random. You can see how I thought everything was profound. My Netflix recommendations, passing a woman on the street and smiling at each other. I ate a lot more pancakes, something I hadn't done since childhood. I thought maybe there will be a miracle. Maybe I will have more time. A temporary grant of extension. I will still do taxes and fill out forms at the doctor's office. I will have time to be mad at traffic. I will stop petting random dogs. I will have time to stop noticing when the hummingbird or Stellar's jay pauses to look in my eyes. That moment before. That's the thing about having time. You miss so much. Thank you.